welcome to another edition of RSF Radio. I am your host, Joe Monday, and this is the podcast where we talk about what's been going on the front page of our Street Fighter and like the world of Street Fighter and the FGC at large. I have a very special guest with me tonight. You might have heard him during our weekly tournaments, or if you are from the Salt Lake region or just know about what's going on over there, the Get Good FGC, Thomas Winkley. How you doing?
Good, brother. How you doing, man? How's things?
So people who are watching the video of this the video version of this podcast, the archive, will see that I have shaved my beard.
That's right. I saw there was a razor explosion incident while I was.
Oh man. Okay. So I've had an electric razor for quite a while, years. It was a Wall, which I think it's a good brand. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to like disparage the name. I actually recommend it, and I would get another one.
I mean, the Wall is like the Levi of razors, right? Like I've never. Yeah, there's not many other brands out there. Yeah,
it's rugged. It's like barbers agree. It's a good electric razor. Anyway, I'm trimming this side of my face, the right side of my face, and then like the blade part just like exploded off of like the housing part, and I was like, I've half trimmed my, not even half, it was like a third trimmed my beard up to the chin. Oh God, what am I gonna do? Oh God, I can't fix this. I have nothing. There's nothing in my house to fix this problem to trim with. I could have went downstairs and gotten like the scissors and then used used a scissor to trim the beard, but like, I'm not going to do that. I can't do that by myself. I can't be trusted with that. That's not going to work. I can't do that. At least I don't trust myself to make it all like well shaped. And Leah wasn't home to fix the accident that had occurred. And then she calls me mid like crisis, and she's like, "Can you come pick me up?" I'm like, "I can't leave the house right now. You don't understand. This is
they'll see me. They'll see me.
I have a beard emergence. I could have just stayed in the car the whole time. I don't need to leave, but like for me, oh no, it was bad scene. So I had to. Luckily, I do keep a lot of double-edged safety razors like just around, just in case. But I mean that's not ideal for shaving an entire beard. Usually you trim and then shave that. So it was me with the double edge being like, shh, shh, and rinsing that off. Shh, shh, shh. Rinse off. Rinse off. It's like very little, like slow progress of like a millimeter at a time, being like, oh.
And I feel like that's a not well advertised beard lesson. Like anyone that's ever grown a beard and then tried to shave it off, your first time trying to shave it off with the safety razor is when you learn. You're like, this is not how this works at all.
Mm-hmm. No, I like the shave that if I'm going down to bare bones, if I'm going raw, I'm double-edged safety razor because like you get the hot lather, it's a whole process. It's like you clean your face. It's you have like special soaps for it. It's all get some like witch hazel on that shit. That's because people will notice. No razor burn. I went from full beard to no beard. This was Monday. We're recording this on a Wednesday. No razor burn whatsoever. Bet your fucking ass. You goddamn right. I'm not going to share those products in the description of the show because they don't pay me. But I will
But if they ever wanted to, my God.
Musco lime soap and witch hazel. I like a cucumber witch hazel. Just you can get it unscented, but I like a cucumba, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. You know, cucumber's got a good, like, refreshing scent. It's nice.
Yeah. And I know this probably isn't true, but I feel like when it touches my skin, it's cooler, where I'm like, ooh, a nice, refreshing, cooler cucumber on the skin. So welcome to the Shaving Podcast. This is your host.
R/shaving in the house.
I think that there is a shaving subreddit. I think it's like the sharp.
Is it actually shaving or is it like a porn? I'm going to r/shaving right now at my own risk.
No, it's always like some weird bullshit that like doesn't necessarily make sense.
No. Well, top upvoted post. How should I shave my pubes for the first time?
Okay, great. No, don't. Hey, folks. Hey, fam. Don't use a double-edged safety razor to shave around your nasty bits.
Okay? Don't do it. Do not do it.
I don't recommend. Like they make Gillette exists for a reason, folks. Okay, like those those kinds of razors exist for, like, there's a reason why a lady's razor has like a big like lotion bits on the top and the bottom side of it, because like you're around like sensitive areas. You can't be using face this hair different from the downstairs hair. It's different. Anyway, again, welcome to the r/shaving fighter podcast, where we talk about how to groom your nasty bits and the best ways to do that. Anyway, shave your butthole, folks. Anyway. That's kind of a different aside of like...
That's an official stance of r/Street Fighter?
Yes. I'm going to go ahead and say that, yes, our Street Fighter stands on a platform of shaving your butthole, because guess what, folks? If I get like... Here's the thing. I used to be against bidets. I was like, ooh, I don't want water around my bung's hole. That's strange. And then I thought to myself, if I get like poop on my hand, if there's poop on my hand... right? I see it. It's on my hand. I go, oh, there's poop. There's a poop there. I'm not just going to wipe it with like some 2-ply paper and be like, all good. We good.
Right.
We all right. No, I'm going to nuke my hand effectively and make sure that it's all good. So like what I'm trying to say is that every time you poop, nuke your bumhole. Nuke your bumhole is the r/Street Fighter stance on butt stuff. Anyway. Can you tell there's not a whole lot of Street Fighter news this week?
Yeah, no, I feel that. Like, yeah, they're definitely not. Which, I mean, and goddamn it, Capcom sharing the same 5 V skills on Twitter every 2 hours, making me so fucking mad.
I know, because all you want is your main. You're just waiting for your main. All the Geef mains out. I should say this. All the good Geef mains are joking about Green Hand. All of the former Geef mains in Street Fighter 4 are like, Green Hand, give us Green Hand. Because, like, nah. Green Hand would make no difference in this video game. Over Flex? You kidding me? No, thank you.
Yeah, Flex is still good.
It's still godlike. Although I am curious, but... Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. I've buried the lead here because usually when I have a new guest on the show, I let them pitch up front where they can be found on the internet and what they have going on. So please give me that Thomas Winkley pitch of what you got going on.
Yeah, so I mean, Twitter, I'm just at Thomas Winkley. I'm also helping admin, at GetGoodFGC on Twitter. That's where we kind of try to post like any fighting game events happening in Utah, any fighting game events happening in Utah, any locals, meetups, tournaments, where we try to promote our players, let people know that Utah exists.
Is that Utah wide, or is that like Salt Lake City regional?
It is Utah wide. And I think, I mean, there's a lot more people in Utah that play fighting games that don't know that like the Utah FGC community exists. But we're getting there.
I mean, that's a lot of places. It's hard to get information out there. You can have, we have a number of places where people can go to find their locals, and still it's hard to get information out there. And locals who run their show don't necessarily have a lot of resources because a lot of it is volunteer work. So it's like, it's not that crazy to think that people can't find them. But anyway,
go ahead. The Twitter algorithm and the Facebook algorithms as well, like bury a lot of that stuff, right? Like, so unless you already have like social media prowess or a good following, right? Like, it's just harder, which is one reason, this is not Utah related, why I'm so impressed with like the Midwest, because I don't know if it's just because I happen to follow a lot of Midwest players, but I just feel like the Midwest's like promotional and social media game, among other things, is just like the best I've ever seen.
I mean, they need to be. They need to be on point because they're geographically not within a striking distance of like, I mean, there's coast bias here, honestly, East Coast and West Coast, but like, I might want to reel that back because I feel like Combo Breaker in particular is like that Chicago region,
Yeah, and
there's something about that has a certain draw to it, and I think specifically in 2020 with the way that Evo is going, that Combo Breaker is going to be like I think that's going to be the tournament this year.
I mean, I can tell you right now, if I have to pick, I'm already going to Combo Breaker 100%. If I have to pick between Evo and Combo Breaker, it's Combo Breaker all day for me.
Although I will say, and I only saw Rick mention this briefly, I didn't follow up with him on this. I probably should have asked him. I might follow up with this immediately following this recording.
Yeah.
But like, so there was like some weird ownership with the Pheasant Run.
They had like layoffs, right?
Yeah, or like which is where Combo Breaker is run from. It's that hotel that's like out like next to like in the middle of fucking nowhere. Which is fine for our purposes, but like, and it's around other hotels, which is great. It's just a matter of like, he wasn't necessarily sure, or like had said that. I think that he had mentioned that it wouldn't necessarily affect Combo Break, or he was going to look into it, but it was like kind of on their end of like management or something. Again, right. This is me being like, oh yeah, I remembered a thing happened with that, like. This might have been 2 weeks ago. My memory is bad. Also, time is bad.
Yeah. I feel like, so I kind of had a thought, because he talked about having cryptic, stressful meetings recently. And I thought maybe that was tied to it, but he said he couldn't talk about it. So I'm like, oh, he's probably under NDA for a product launch instead. I don't know. But I just hope Combo Breaker keeps going, because I feel like the access to talent at Combo Breaker is far and above better than any other tournament I've ever been to, because you've got it's central to Canada, right? You've got obviously all Japanese, all the Asian players are coming over anyway. It's oh man, it's so good. And the 24-hour venue, like
24-hour venue, that's super important. They've got like the arcade alley over there. It's a whole thing.
Yep.
And we're not here to talk about Combo Breaker though, because Utah just finished their the Get Good series.
Correct.
In fact, people got good, if I'm not mistaken. Tell us about that whole process and like what exactly that was.
Yeah, so just like a small amount of backstory. So me and myself and probably 4 or 5 other Utah players were at CEO last year, and we were at an Airbnb, and we were talking about how impressive the Florida FGC presence was. And we were like, as we were talking, we kind of came to the realization of like, they didn't just get that way, right? Like people didn't just like wake up one morning and was like, cool, Florida is an FGC now, right? And suddenly they were good. And we kind of realized that it's because of people like, Jabali and all the other TOs out there putting in that grind, right? And then we started talking about, Wednesday night fights.
Moondog, what's up? Sorry, I had to shout out Florida.
Oh, so good. No problem. Yeah. Like Moondog. And then you look at the East Coast, right? They've got NLDC, they've got Henry Sen, Arturo. I'm sure tons of other people I'm not naming. And it just kind of hit us. We're like, well, the reason why these places have these incredibly talented, strong communities is because there are people that are literally building it for them. Like they are providing infrastructure, right? And Utah, without getting into any Utah drama that's never probably ever going to go away, but like it's not, Utah hasn't really had that, right? Like having consistent venues has been a really big problem for the Utah FGC. And I've been around since AE 2012. And again, like venue problems, right? We've been at universities, we've been at random gaming centers that open and close. We've played at coffee shops. We've played anywhere that would give us a room to play in, right?
Which is not unique to Utah. Also, I don't want to like say that I don't want to lessen the impact of what has happened to your community. I'm just saying that this is very common for many communities.
Yeah, right. And especially because, buildings and space and internet cost money, right?
Yeah.
And the FGC, one thing the FGC doesn't have compared to other quote unquote, I don't want to say the term esports, but, competitive gaming things, people don't see money in it. And it's more grassroots, so therefore there isn't as much money in it, right? So we really sat down and said, we want to build a place where people come and they come back. And not only they come back, but if somebody shows up for their first time, they go 0-2, we want them to see some kind of way to stop going 0-2. We want to give them a progression path, right? And so we kind of came up with a point system. And honestly, like it's a pretty basic knockoff of the Capcom Cup point system.
Yeah, I mean, if it's like the point distributions, at least for like their major events, is reasonable.
Yeah, and
I don't want to get into like
Right.
online ranking events and like super premieres and what that means for different ranking events, because I think we can argue that like the Capcom North American regional finals being a super premiere kind of fucked things up a little bit, because it's like,
yeah, it did.
If you registered for like the math on that worked out for that, if you registered for that event, you would get the
40 points or something?
Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but it was just like, because, I mean, no one could, because it's this unproven tournament, and
right.
The fighting game community may or may not respect a little bit of, show us what you got first before we go all in on what you're trying to sell us. But anyway, I digress. Go ahead.
No, and you're absolutely right. And so, I mean, we didn't do the one difference from ours was like, instead of we did give bonus points to top 8 qualifying in all the locals.
Mm-hmm.
But we also, the point system was actually derived from winning games, not sets. So if you go to a tournament and go 0-2, but you win one game in each of those 0-2s,
but it was close.
Yeah, and it was close. Yeah, you got a point. You got a point per game, right? So you could actually get points. The idea behind it being, first of all, we wanted data. Like, we wanted to prove, like, does this actually motivate people to keep showing up or not, right?
It does. It super does.
Yeah.
I don't want. I'm sorry. I like might have like blew the surprise of being.
No, it absolutely.
I was just too excited because like I know factually that shit works.
It absolutely works. And last chance qualifiers, I don't care how you feel about them, they bring out the crowds. They bring everybody. But that's another statement. But yeah, so we wanted, and plus we wanted to have like data, right? Like, most of us work for a company and we do some kind of interneting tech thing, and we all believe in looking at data to prove points. And so we built a point system. Shout outs to Sugar Bear, who's a local here, who built us a website. He built some applications.
Shout outs to Sugar Bear. Seriously,
Sugar Bear.
Like building that infrastructure is hella important. At least for us on our end, like, shout outs to Mello. That dude fucking owns. But that's just kind of that's my end of things. But if you have someone that's like willing to look into the stats, holy shit.
Yep. And so he built us a thing that basically scrapes the Smash.gg API, so we can actually pull all the data on player IDs, what games they played, who they played against, what their win ratio is, all of that stuff. And then he scrapes it down into the point system. We put it up on the site, and we just ran it for the year. And we scraped points off of 3 events, 3 monthly. So bar fights, which I run, and an arcade bar once a month. The Salt Lake Skirmish, run by Mark, who I believe you had on the show like about a year ago, maybe 8 months ago, something like that.
You said a year ago, and I was like, yeah, sure. That was probably like 3 months ago. I don't.
All right. Well,
I have. It was. Here's the thing. It was either 3 months or a year ago.
Yeah.
That's like the shotgun spread I'm giving everyone, because I have no fucking clue how time works.
Yeah,
hopefully 2019 is over. Thank God.
Right, and when you get into like working on events and doing this kind of stuff, time suddenly loses meaning.
Honestly, yeah.
So he runs an event, and he is running it at Reyes Boxing, KO Boxing, which is one of our community members' boxing gym where he trains fighters. And we helped him set that up and secure that. And then Game Den in Provo, owned by one of our community members, owns a board game store, and they run an event every month there. And so the idea was like, well, we don't want people just coming to quote unquote get good events, right? Like, we want people coming to Utah FGC events. We want people playing fighting games, and I don't care where they're playing them. So we did that. Scraped them up over the year, scraped up points, tried to promote events, bought stream gear, started streaming stuff, and just really tried to like let people know like Utah exists. We're here. We play fighting games. And contrary to what Mike Ross says, there's more people here than Gustavo.
This was just this year.
Yeah, we started the point system. We started scraping events like January. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So this is our first year
way before the season starts, because like that's downtime. That's when people. Yeah. January is a weird time, right? Because like January through March is a strange time for the FGC, because there's like no major events, at least in terms of like Street Fighter events, which is what is one of those things where, like, I hate to say it brings the people. Like, it's what people want to play, and
Yeah.
Love it or hate it, that's just what it is. If it leads for people to play other fighting games, like, more power to them. Like, that's fucking rad. There's a ton of fucking great fighting games right now. Like,
so many.
Oh my god, so good. And there's so many like that will be coming in the future. It's like the future is good for the FGC,
right?
But is what it is. Street Fighter V is a very popular game. There's people getting into it this week. It's one of those things where I don't know how to tell people. This is a major aside. I have no fucking clue how to tell people how to buy Street Fighter V.
Huh.
Do you have like, hey, I need advice. Hey, Tom, I need advice on when people come to me asking, what is the best, how do I buy Street Fighter V? What do I even tell them? Because there's so much confusion between like, oh, if I buy the regular version, I'm not buying Championship Edition, which is the newest one. Can I even play with it? Is it cross play? I don't even know anymore. I'm just some random person who doesn't have any idea because this person exists. I dealt with this person earlier this week. Like, multiples of this person exist. Like, because people want to get into fighting games. Doesn't matter when or where they get into them. It's just that making that information available might be I need a flow chart of like, do you own a previous version of Street Fighter V? Yes. Go over here. No. Go over here.
Yeah.
Can you find AE on sale anywhere? Yes. Go over here. No. Go over here. I don't know.
I mean, I can tell you as of now, you can just buy Street Fighter V, the base game, right? And then just pre-order the Championship Edition DLC, and you just get everything.
You get it like now.
Yeah, you get it all now. So you should. So like on Steam, for example, you should be able to get everything Street Fighter V has to offer now, and through all the new characters whenever they come out. I'm assuming right after Capcom Cup, probably for like $32, I think, with the Steam Autumn sale. That's
a pretty good deal, honestly.
Yeah, like, it's not bad.
For everything?
Everything. And I can tell you with the costumes I've bought, I have spent way more than that. I've probably spent $200 on Street Fighter V in the last 3 years.
You done fucked up. I'm sorry, but you done fucked up. I spent maybe $60. Wait, hold on. It dropped was it a $60 game at launch?
It was a $60 game at launch, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I spent $60, and then I spent $30 when I got the PS4 version, but that was like a year after it dropped or something. So I spent maybe $100, maybe $100.
Oh my god, no! I bought the collector's edition, so I've probably spent $300 to $400 on Street Fighter V.
I thought about the collector's edition today, and that was bad. That whole situation is bad.
Yeah,
because like, just thinking about what Street Fighter V was at launch versus what they were offering at that price point is. I don't mean to drag you. I'm just saying.
No, you're good, man. Like it's. I spent the money. You can drag me all you want. Like, and then if you think about like trying to organize Get Good, right? Like I bought another PlayStation.
Oh, yeah, you got to have so many like different consoles and setups, and you have to have all the characters.
Right, you have to, and like, and to be honest, like, you know, we do ask the community to bring their setups, right? Like, please bring setups. Like, that's pretty common, but at the same time, I wanted to make sure we had at least like 2 setups. So if like some people don't show, if new people show up, that we have something there. So I mean, I've bought Street Fighter V 3 or 4 times at this point, plus DLC. Anyway,
that's fairly common for for an event organizer. That's not out of It's not out of pocket. In fact, I don't know why you haven't bought more.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, honestly, I've also bought Tekken 7 and spent goddamn $100 on that fucking game.
Because you're not only playing one game. That's the other thing, is that you have to have PS4s what run all of the other games as well for your community who may or may not enjoy a variety of the great games there are. T7, hella good. Dude, hella tight.
Did you watch the Red Bull tournament this last weekend?
Oh my god,
it was so fucking fun. It was so fun to watch.
Tekken is so good. Holy shit.
And so is Eunice. And so like the Eunice 3 games together, like Eunice, Tekken, Street Fighter, and like having like jumping from game to game to game as a team tournament was so fucking cool to watch. I look like it's been a long time since I've sat down and watched a fighting game tournament and not played a game while watching it. Like I legit sat in my hotel room with my phone propped up against a lamp and I just fucking watched Red Bull all day. It was so good.
Word, dude.
Anyway,
those Red Bull qualifiers were like, are you talking about the Chicago one?
Not the qualifier, but the team tournament they did, like the Red Bull, what did they call it this last weekend? The Red Bull
the Rise,
Rally, Kill, yeah. That thing.
Kill, fuck, marry. The Red Bull kill, fuck, marry.
Right. Which, I mean, honestly, right? Like, I don't know who you kill out of Street Fighter, Tekken, and Eunice, and I don't know who you fuck.
You kill Street Fighter, you marry Tekken. No, actually, I don't know. Maybe you marry Street Fighter, you kill Eunice, and you fuck Tekken.
I don't know, man. I bet Eunice is into some kinky shit.
Hey, listeners, tweet into the show or email in of who you would marry, fuck, kill between Eunice, Street Fighter 5, and Tekken. I don't know. I think you marry Street Fighter. All right, so here's my explanation of why. You marry Street Fighter because of the lasting power of Street Fighter. They're a good companion for the future. Doesn't matter like how they fucked up with Street Fighter 5 or earlier versions of like Street Fighter 3. Like they have a certain staying power within like globally, like they've got a cultural impact. Is cultural a word?
Yeah, it is.
Cultural impact that is beyond just the fighting game itself. So you marry Street Fighter. You kill Eunice because anime is for perverts. And you fuck Tekken 7 because geese.
See, but like, I'm almost the other way because you fuck Eunice because anime is for perverts. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. That's where I'm stuck. Like, I don't like the idea of the kill, but like, someone's got to die.
I know. That's a tough one. Anyway, so you finished up the Got Good.
Yeah. So we finished it up.
Series.
We went out. We solicited some sponsors. To be completely honest, like I sent some emails out, full on expecting to get like the middle finger back, right?
Hell yeah.
And people were like, "Yeah, we're in." So, because of X Mission, which is an internet provider in Utah, they were the first internet provider in America.
Word?
Yeah, they opened like 2 days after Netscape browser dropped or something, or like Netscape dropped the day after they opened or something. Like their founder started them. He had like dial-up servers and a closet of a hair salon in downtown Salt Lake, and now they're like a whole ass company with employees and fiber and the whole thing.
That's some fucking lore right there. God damn,
they're fucking cool. Like
that's fucking wild.
I love that company. Their CEO ran for Senate or Congress here in Utah. Pete Ashdown, super cool guy. Anyway, so like I emailed them and I was like, hey, like I have X Mission. I worked there years ago. I have friends that worked there, and I was, I have X Mission. The places that we're playing fighting games have X Mission. This is what we're doing. And they were just like, yeah, we'll cut you a check. How much you want? So they cut me a check. Quarters Arcade Bar, probably the most supportive group of people I've ever met. Like the owners, Michael and Katie, were just like, yeah, no, you want to come like run tournaments at our venue once a month? Great. Yeah, no, we're going to put fiber in so you can stream it. Is that cool? Like they just like took care of us.
Word.
So same thing. They gave us money. Focus Attack actually helped us out with some sticks so we could raise some money, like do some like raffle sales and stuff. So anyway, we raised enough money that we were like, all right, we have this money. So now we can do like a prize payout, like a tournament prize payout for the end of the year, right? So we started kind of figuring that out, and then they're like, well, we need to run this event. So we're going to need like stream hardware, and then we're going to need, we have to buy stuff and swag and different things to give people. I needed to pay Armando, who owns the boxing gym. Like I need to give him some kind of money for letting people show up, because like he needs to be able to pay his rent.
Right.
So anyway, and then we were like, what if we flew a commentator out? So I started emailing commentators. Actually, Joey DM'd James Chen on Twitter, one of the guys in our community who also works with Focus Attack, just like DM'd him. And I was like, there's no way this guy's going to reply. Like, he's James Chen. He's busy. And he was like, yo, sup? I'll come out. I'll fly out. So we started working and negotiating with him, and getting the money side figured out. And yeah, we threw a 2-day tournament this last weekend, and I think it went really well, especially for like a first event of this scale. It went okay. Space Productions, who is a local company that just like does like tons of like big esports event streaming. They do a lot of like League of Legends streams. They do a lot of stuff for like the collegiate scene. They were just like, yeah, we want to stream your event for you. So they did. They brought out like a full production rig.
No shit.
It was dope. So yeah, we did the thing, and I think it went well. A dude from China named M, Zhu, I think Zhu Ma is his real name, but M is his tag. He's a University of Utah foreign exchange student. Found us because of our Twitter and our Facebook and our Discord efforts. And he came in, won the last chance qualifier Friday night, and then cleaned house in the best of tournament the next night and won it. Won the whole thing. Yeah, it was really fun.
Fuck your community.
Exactly.
Oh, that's fucked up. That's like actually fucking awesome though.
Yeah, and he's a super good Akuma player, and he's rad. So he showed up and just bodied fools. It was fun. It was great. And like I said, because it was in a boxing gym, like the matches were all inside of a boxing ring, which was really fun. Because it was fun. We had a DJ there, Yuka Tolika, who is friends with Armando. He plays Street Fighter with us. He's also like a professional DJ, so he brought like his whole ass DJ rig out and was like playing music in between sets.
It's fucking sick. Like that shit to me. Oh, that's so impressive. As a former DJ,
right?
That is. Oh, that's a dream. That would be so tight.
It was really fun. And I think, James, when James was out, that was the other thing is like, I cannot tell you what a cool ass guy James Chen is. Like,
oh yeah. He loves the community. He covers as many local communities as he can. Yeah. Like I know that like you put the feelers out there for James Chen. You might have been like, no way is he going to come out. To me, I'm like, fuck yeah, James Chen's going to come out because James Chen gives a fuck.
He does. And
you can put that on the back of the box. If James Chen is a sellable product, you can put that shit on the back of the box. James Chen gives a fuck. Honestly. He's out there streaming like Tetris. If you run a Tetris tournament, Tetris for James.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
And he was so cool and gracious. Like, so we flew him out Friday. The event was Friday night and then Saturday all day. Shit. And like, he and I went back and forth, but I kind of have this thing. I don't know if it's like an ethical thing, but like, I don't like people working for free. Like, it just makes me really uncomfortable.
Totally
and
agree.
Like when he and I were first talking, he was like, I know you're a local, so I don't know how much money you have. He's like, but I got bills to pay. And I was like, no, man, you give me a price and I'll figure it out. And if I can't do it, I'll tell you. And he gave me his price. I'm like, great, I can afford to pay you to commentate one day. So you're going to commentate Saturday. So my expectation was, hey, let's fly him out Friday, let him see the city, do whatever he wants to do. And then come, Saturday, he'll come hang out, he'll commentate. He got in Friday. We dropped him off at his hotel. Actually, we dropped him off at the wrong hotel, which is two blocks from the right hotel.
Oh dear.
And instead of like texting me and calling me and being like, dude, you took me to the wrong spot, because I took him to the other Marriott, he just like walked over there and then told me it's not a big deal and said it all was cool. Anyway, again,
as someone who has dealt with fucking shit like that, holy shit, that is bananas. Yeah. I would be fucking flipping out if if I sent someone to the wrong hotel.
Right. I was
shit.
And here's how I figured it out. I didn't find out from James. So because when I booked his hotel, yeah. I gotta tell you this. So when I booked his hotel,
I'm dying on the inside right now. This is killing me. What happened?
So when I booked his hotel, I put his email address in just so all the information would go to him, right?
Right.
But I didn't think, I need to like find a way to CC myself so I remember which fucking hotel he's at. And there's two Marriotts. There's Marriott on 200 South State, and there's the Marriott at City Creek, and they're literally like 2 blocks from each other, right? And so the night before, we had bar fights the night before, and I was talking to the manager of the Marriott, the wrong Marriott, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, when James gets in, just text me. Here's my number, and like I'll hook you guys up. I'll make sure he gets upgraded to a suite, and then I'll probably give you a bit of a discount, refund you some money." Like I'm like, "Great, dude, thank you. Like here's a beer. This is wonderful." And then so I dropped James off at that hotel. And then I go back to the venue because I've been setting up since, 7 o'clock in the morning. And I text the manager. I'm like, "Hey, dude, James Chen just checked in. Y'all should be well." And he's like, "I can't find him in the system." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, I can't find him. He's not on the system. And I'm like, oh no, did I book him at the other Marriott? And so now I'm freaking out. I'm like, am I going to text James and ask him if he got fucked up? Like, what do I? So I text him, I'm like, hey man, did you get into your hotel okay? Going, please God, say that he did. And he's like, yeah, I had to walk 2 blocks to the right hotel, but don't even sweat it, man. Don't even sweat it. Like, I'm so glad to be out here. And I was like, oh my God, I'm such a jackass.
I'm fucking dying. I'm fucking dying over here.
Yeah, dude, it was definitely like an all-star, like Tom fucked up moment. I was so stressed out. So even with all of that, he took a nap, got some Carl's Jr. or something, and then took a lift to our venue. And he came in and he's like, hey, what do you want me to commentate? And I'm like, actually, local people wanted to commentate tonight. And I introduced him to some folk. And then like one of our guys, Thomas 5K, who took 3rd place at the overall, was like, James, like he's a big James Chen. He's like, I want to play you. He's like, I want to play sets with you. And James is like, I'm not very good. And he's like, dude, he's like, it's not about good. Like, I've always wanted to play sets against you. And James came to our venue and ran like a 5.5 hour James Chen Kumite, where people just sat down and just beat the fuck out of him in Street Fighter 5 for like 5.5 hours.
Oh, that's rough.
And he just like hung out and talked to people, had a good time. And the crazy thing is like he's been learning Lucia, and so like he was like talking Lucia tech with people. And we have one really pretty good Lucia player, so like they were trading like tech and information. It was amazing. Like, and he just like hung out with everybody for 6 hours and just like played games and talked to people and watched matches and like. And then he showed up the next day around like 2. Played some sets, hung out, and then just fucking commentated Tekken, commentated Street Fighter. It was rad. Like he was super awesome. Like I cannot recommend, like if your scene is excited about something like that, I cannot like bang for buck. I got so much value out of him coming out and doing that, just like as a community builder, as like just like something cool that people were stoked about.
The man's a class act.
He's
that
awesome.
Is
He's
to
awesome.
like play to sit down and play people like that. Like.
Right.
That's wild. Because I can relate to that. Like,
yeah.
I'm not good anymore. I don't have it in me.
Sure.
But if people were like, hey, let's like, I need to play you, I'd be like, you know what? Maybe I want to duck this because I know I'm not good. Maybe. James Chen, though. No,
he's just a gracious dude, man. Like I
that's wild. That's
like
wild.
You know, like like people say don't meet your heroes. It was like this is the first time that I've met somebody that I look up to that I wasn't like hella let down in a long time. Like he was a good all around. And we even talked about we even talked about stuff that I don't want to bring up on the podcast on this just because fuck people showing their asses. But even that, he was like, nah man, fuck this. And I'm like, my God, this guy is just a good dude. So anyway, it was great. And I'm stoked we did the event. I think, now we're going to do the retro stuff. Sit down. I'm going to document the process, write down thoughts. We're going to take feedback from the community and figure out what we do next year. Because we have had some feedback where there's people that actually didn't want us to fly James Chen out. They didn't want to have a commentator. They said they would rather have us do kind of what Reddit does and sponsor players to go to tournaments. So we might look at doing something like that next year instead.
Okay. All right.
Which
have you considered like online I don't want to say like online qualifiers, but like online tournaments. So like online ranking events, let's say, that are just Utah focused. Granted, internet being what it is, like that makes sense. But like, let's say it's for less points, but like,
sure.
Could be a thing. Have you considered that?
We haven't. And I actually want to put that in there because one of the pieces of feedback we got, which I thought was actually really good, was that, Bar Fights gave the same points out as our other 2 locals.
Mm-hmm.
But Bar Fights is 21 and over because it's a bar.
They don't allow like 18 in?
No, you have to be 21 to go into a bar in Utah. And so honestly, like I didn't know how many players under 21 would be affected by it when I was first working on this, because honestly, at the time we were putting this together, we had 1 player under 21 that we knew of. 1.
I mean, you're saying this, but this is like a year's worth of building, but you've already built so much off of that. So like, this is learning experience. Yeah. So like a lot of people don't but like it's a T for teen game.
Yep.
So as our Street Fighter has sponsored teenagers before who cannot get into bar fights.
Yeah, and like just when we were setting up, it's just something we didn't consider. So we're already looking at reworking the points for next year. We're actually going to have a community meeting in December where we're going to get everyone together and just be like, all right. Some members of the community actually put together a document for us of like things they don't like, which was really helpful.
That's fucking rad. That's awesome.
So we're gonna go over that. We're gonna get what other stuff people want. One of the Game Dem Provo guys have a lot of opinions they want to share, so I have a call with them this week, and then we'll just see what we can do in 2020. But I honestly, like, if anyone's listening to this and they're like, I kind of want to see what happened, like, get Good FGC on YouTube. We already have all the VODs up. They're all done. They're all like 1080p, 60 frames a second. They're gorgeous. It's like Space Productions is such a good job. And then I just found out too, I paid a photographer to come out and like film around the venue and get like shots of matches and stuff like that, like just on a camera. And Space Productions took all of that footage and they're cutting together like a premiere cut of the event that they're going to re-air on their Twitch channel for us in the next couple of weeks. So I'll try to share that out as well.
That's
and it'll have like, I've never heard of somebody doing this before, but like they're doing it. And so I want to watch it. Like I'm excited to actually watch the tournament I ran. Yeah, it was fun. And like, again, I want to make sure like, yes, I'm the guy on r/Street Fighter right now talking about it, but like I did a thing with like 20 other people that helped do all of the things. And I think it's really important to acknowledge that like Andrew built our website. Viet did all of our graphic design. Space Productions did all of the show building. They ran everything. They brought the equipment out to stream. We ran Unist Friday night and we ran Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue, Central Fiction, and Mortal Kombat as well. Space Productions streamed Mortal Kombat, which we have really good Mortal Kombat players in Utah. Black Cloud got 49th at Evo. Conquer got 9th at Evo and MK9, I think. He's a really good Mortal Kombat player. And then Greggles usually beats Black Cloud. So I imagine if he would have gone to Evo, he probably would have got top 32. And then Bryce Ellsworth, Bellsworth is his tag, Salty Gaming Show. He came out and streamed all the anime stuff for us on Friday and Saturday. So, and then Armando put internet in so we could do it and has been helping us build that. So just like, I just want to make sure that like it wasn't just Tom. It was literally like 20 people in the Utah FGC. The whole community came together to do this really dope thing, and I'm glad it happened. And that's the end of my big soapboxy rant about it.
I'm really glad that you pulled in that last bit because I feel like that's super important for anyone out there who is listening who is like, how do I build a community? And it's that you have to have people around. You have to surround yourself with people who are willing to push the community forward, are willing to do things like that. Because I mean, there's so many people involved, so many wheels are spinning right now that it's just that's incredible. Like the connections that you've made and the quote unquote deals that you've made are like hella tight, man. That's sick.
And I will say too, like, you're going to deal with shit and you need to, I am of the opinion that you need to have a line in the sand for how much shit you will deal with. And when people step across that line, like, you got to be the person to be like, nah, dog, this ain't it. I'll also say, if people don't show up to your stuff, keep doing your stuff. Like, so the Utah, like, Street Fighter 5 group players, it was literally, I think you've met Casey, Lord Bane. It was literally me and him going to his apartment every Wednesday and playing Street Fighter 5 for 3 hours and then going home for the first like 6 months of the game being out. And that slowly steamrolled to where we had like 20 people showing up and it was too big for his apartment. So we started doing it at my house, and then it was too big for my house. So a board game store was like, hey, we're running casuals. And we're like, hey, I know you're an anime casuals, but can we bring Street Fighter setups and hang out with you guys? And now we go there. So just know that like, if people aren't showing up, keep doing it and keep telling people about it and keep inviting people, because eventually the people that are actually driven will start to glob on and stick with it and it'll start to grow. But it's like, it's not like a 2-month process. Like what we did last year was a 1-year process, but what we did before that, just getting people to come play Street Fighter 5 with us, I mean, that was literally 2 years of just showing up to someone's house every Wednesday with a setup, right? Which seems small, but like some days after work, like doing that is not always exciting, right? Just like you've done with like, well, I'm so impressed with like the Reddit/Street Fighter tournaments, because like you work your ass off on Mondays from 6 o'clock in the morning till fucking 2 o'clock in the morning, and then wake up and cut all the VODs and still go to work. Like, and you've been doing that consistently for what, 2, 3, 4 years? Like,
it's like 6. I mean, like, if you talk about like how long we've been running tournaments, it's been 6 years.
That's crazy. Like that's
I used to run East Coast and West Coast tournaments on the same day, personally myself. We would end at 11 and I would start another tournament. I'm thinking back. I think back to that time. Sometimes
I actually remember
like,
watching those. Yeah.
Holy shit. I also want to give a shout out to Lord Bane. Dude, fucking awesome.
He's like, when I think about like when I know we're gonna talk about what we're thankful for, but like when I think about people I'm thankful for in like the FGC, it's him, it's Joey, it's Sugar Bear, like it's actually Gamer Blob, who's actually a Midwest guy that just moved out here. Like, you need to get through stuff like this if you want to build a community that's any semblance of functional. Like, you need uplifting, strong people to like talk you off the ledge about once every 3 months, and like these guys are really good at that, and like it's you have to have that. And like, yeah, like Lord Bane, I can't speak enough about how much I love that guy. Like, he's just a good dude in general, and
he really is. You're not wrong.
For the right reasons. So anyway,
yes, I in full agreement with that. So Lord Bane, if you're listening, I don't know if he does. Does he? Do you know if he?
I think he's not a huge podcast guy. I know he listened like when you had Mark on, so I assume he'll listen to this one.
Fucking fair weather fan over there. God
right?
Damn.
Jesus Christ.
That son of a
You know
bitch.
What? Fuck Lord Bane. That guy sucks. I changed my mind.
Fuck him and his goddamn facial piercings. What an asshole. What a dickhead.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, love you, man. Anyway, no, that's actually that was a good bit, I think, and I it's one of those things where I'm appreciative of, like, that's how things need to be done, of just slowly over time. You just keep coming back.
Yep.
You just have to maintain, right?
Yep.
It's one of those things that you're gonna have bad times, you're gonna have bad people, you're gonna have fucking assholes in your community, and you have to know when to boot them out. It's rough sometimes, because sometimes those assholes are some of the best players in your community.
Yeah.
And you have to just be like, hey, this ain't it, fam. You need to fuck off or write up, because this is bad for the whole. Like,
yeah.
It's one, I don't exactly know who to quote on this, but I did see this somewhere where if you invite everyone, you invite the wolves and the sheep.
Yeah.
But if you invite everybody, you're going to be left with just the wolves.
Yep.
You're not going to have any of the sheep. And it's, to me, that makes sense of like, man, you're going to have so many fucking people just being nasty as fuck.
Yep.
And you got to know where to draw that line and just be a human to them and say, hey, this is making a set of people uncomfortable to join the community. I would rather you not, and for them and for the whole of everybody, because you then don't get to play it. Like, it's one of those weird things where my advice to anyone who comes to me asking for personal, like, player advice is appeal to them in some way.
Yeah.
Of they have to have some, they're in it. So it's not just because they're like, they want to be a fucking asshole. No, it's appeal to them in some, like, find something for them to grab onto to say, hey, if you are actually trying to attain this goal, maybe it would benefit you to not be so sexist or racist or any kind of. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, and I think, like, giving them that chance is also really important. I know cancel culture is a big deal, and like some things are just not okay, and you just need to kill that shit, right? Like, especially when people are doubling down on nuclear takes. But I will say,
Jesus Christ,
you need to be willing to have a conversation with a person and say, hey, like, do you understand why this was bad? And like, I think, I don't know how to say this without sounding like I'm some weird, like, libertarian crazy person, because I'm not. But like, I think with the way social media functions, it's not a conversation, right? It's a screaming match. And that concerns me a lot, because like, you can't change things if you're just screaming at each other, right? You have to talk about it. And if the person is then unwilling to not be a cancerous prick, then you deal with it, right? Or if they've shown a history or a trend, right? Like, it's like, I used to manage sales teams, and it's like, if they show a history or a trend of shit behavior, then you can use that trend to say, hey, you know what? Like, this isn't a one-off. This is a trend. This is a, here's a bar chart of all the fucked up stuff you do. You need to go. But if it's a one-off occurrence, depending on severity, like maybe a coaching conversation with that person, and like you said, appealing to them as a human, because they honestly may not know, right?
That's true. That's the thing, that you don't know where someone's coming from in any situation. So you need to, if you are in a position to get real with someone, you need to do that.
And if you're their friend, you should get real with them, because the worst thing a friend can do is let their friends show their whole ass.
I think that is an important thing to say, because let's be like a little bit revealing here, maybe show my own ass of, you bring up a good point of Twitter blow-ups. We love them. Trust me. It's a blow up Tuesday. That's the thing, folks. I get it. You're going to quote tweet a bad take. It's going to be a whole thing. I keep going back to this like month after month. This is a thing that you've heard on the show before if you're a long-time listener. And it is something that I will continue to espouse into this microphone, is that like throwing shade at someone on twitter.com does not impact change in their life. It doesn't. In fact, if Bushin style has taught us anything, it makes them double down on their previously bad beliefs that just have continued historically. Nuclear bad takes. And it requires someone who is within their, that, let's say you have a bad apple. It requires someone within their circle of influence to come into their life and say, hey, what you've done here impacts this person or this group of people negatively in such a way that, like, if you intended it or not, this is the result of what you have done. Correct. And have them confront that in such a way that it's on them to change. And like, that's hard to do. That is like it's tough. It's tough. It is one of those things when it wells up in you. There's like, it becomes like a actual heated gamer moment of being like actually heated of like, I don't know how this person's going to come back at me. Like, I don't know if they're going to blow up or kill or try to kill the scene, because that's something that can also happen, is that you confront someone and they say, fuck everyone here, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, you're cool, pointing to the racist person, and then I'm out. Right? It can be real bad. I've had a bad experience of that as a moderator personally.
I have as well.
It's just it can be bad in that way, but after all that, it's just one of those things where you have to consider what circle of influence that you are, what circle of influence like the people around them are, if they can impact change. Twitter blowups don't
help. Like they're great, but they don't help.
I mean, like it might make you feel good to dunking a ball on a 5-foot hoop might make you feel good sometimes. Yeah. But it won't move that needle forward. It's not going to be the thing that does it. Anyway, let's get off this negative note. I'm tired of being a negative Nancy. Let's get on to things that we're thankful for, because for anyone listening, it's Thanksgiving. Welcome, folks. Congratulations. It's Thanksgiving. Holy fuck. I'm like just now realizing that tomorrow, after this recording, I'm going to have to do I have to do multiple Thanksgivings tomorrow. I'm grappling with that in my head right now. I need to talk to my wife and figure out what we're doing or what we're even making. I think we have a bean casserole ready. She's making cookies, I think. She's making pumpkin cookies. With like a maple glaze on top, super tight.
Did you know that I am like the most basic dude on the planet, and I think pumpkin fucking everything is delish?
You a basic bitch. You pumpkin spice latte biatch right now.
Like, I'm pretty sure my tag still PSL Tom right now, or did I change it?
I'll need to take a look. I don't know.
Like, I'm the first motherfucker in line at Starbucks when that shit goes live. Like, I drink pumpkin beer. I eat pumpkin cookies. The only thing I don't have is a pair of Uggs at this point, and I'm fucking close because they're comfortable.
Your North Face jacket and Uggs are in line.
I'm waiting for that Black Friday sale to get those deals.
Delivered to you. What's your favorite pumpkin beer? I have a favorite pumpkin beer.
So we actually have one out here in Utah that I don't know if I don't think it gets out very far, but it's called the Black-O-Lantern. And it is a porter. It's the coffee, not a coffee porter. It's a chocolate porter from Uinta or Wasatch mixed with their pumpkin ale.
Oh, word.
And it is.
Isn't it like Unitas?
Yeah,
it's one of those things where I know what you're talking about. I don't know if I've ever said it out loud. It might.
Yeah.
It might be Unitas or Unitas.
It's Uinta. It's named after the Uinta Mountains, and this is actually from Wasatch Brewery.
There you go.
Uinta and Wasatch are, I mean, they're not the same, but they're basically the fucking same. Yeah, enough. It's the Black Lantern. It's delicious.
Okay, word. I'm gonna go way basic bitch on this and just say the pumpkin ale, Dogfish Head, because personally for me it's subtle in the pumpkin. It's not like smack you in the fucking face. Here you go. Here's some pumpkin, like some. Like Terrapin, their pumpkin ale is just like, here's a fucking like backhanded with, here's some, you like pumpkin spice, here you go. And it's just like, wow, that's really pumpkin spice forward. I don't know about all this shit. I'm Terrapin, fuck you.
That sounds like my kind of pumpkin, to be honest.
It ain't that, but I actually don't know what region Terrapin is from. And anyway, it's one of those things like being in PA. I've talked about this before, but like, at least to you personally, but like being in PA is one of those weird things where like it's hard to get a hold of alcohol, but the availability of multiple kinds of alcohol is we have options. Thank you to the chairman specials. What's good? Anyway, we have things that we're thankful for. I'm thankful for the chairman specials, obviously. Been drinking that chartreuse all night. What's good? But what are you thankful for in the FGC?
Well, I think it's a lot of things. Like, so obviously, I'm thankful for like I said, the people that have like really helped us kind of put and spearhead together getting people to play fighting games in Utah. I have to go cheesy and say like I'm super thankful for my wife, right? Because I am a grown ass man with a house and responsibilities and a job, and she is totally cool with me spending what free time I have organizing tournaments, organizing events, commentating the r/Street Fighter weekly, which I'm also thankful for you for letting me do, because I feel like I am learning a ton and growing, and I like commentating. And she lets me go to majors, she lets me travel. Like, that's rare, right? Like, I realize that people in functional relationships may not understand, but like, not everybody's cool with their husband just like knocking off and playing fucking video games for a weekend in Vegas or Chicago. Like, that's not everyone's all right like that. And so I'm really happy to have that. And honestly, like, I'm thankful for players that just show up wherever the games are. Like, there's people that say, I just want to play games, but really they say that because they just want to be assholes while playing games. And then there's people that say, I just want to play games, and they mean it, because if there's an event, they are there. If there's casuals, they're there. Like, those are the lifeblood of the FGC, right? Like, the players that are like, I don't care if we're playing on a fucking ski lift with an extension cord. Like, if there's sets to be had, I'm getting them. And like, those, I'm so thankful for players like that like, they just want to fucking play fighting games. Like, that is super core, like super good. So those are the things I'm thankful for.
Got a set up in the Black Lodge over here.
Right, yeah. Fucking dudes with their fucking turtlenecks and fucking ski boots playing.
Oh shit. No, that's good. I'm thankful for most of the thing. It is one of those things, the FGC partners is a thing that, you know, it's one of those things. We've gone through the conversation of like, should people date within the FGC? Shouldn't they? I think that's all up to them.
Yeah.
It's also a very insular community, so it's like, consider that if you're thinking about long term, or because it is totally fine to end things amicably. We're all adults here. That's fine.
Right.
My wife, not really into any FGC stuff. I do a whole bunch of FGC stuff, obviously. But she'll come with. She'll travel to Vegas every year. I don't think she likes Vegas. I don't like Vegas. We don't like Vegas. We like Secret Pizza in Vegas. That's very good. Have you been to Secret Pizza?
No, and I'm a little sad. Is that the name of the restaurant?
I guess. I don't know if it has a name. I know the Secret Pizza. How the fuck have you not been to Secret Pizza? Hold on. This is a guy whose CFN is pizza is good, and y'all never been to Secret Pizza?
No, like I've never had pizza in Vegas that I've ever like. I get pizza when I go to Vegas, but I go to Aces and Ales with a coworker that lives out there. Only because I can just get real drunk for like $15.
I am thankful for Secret Pizza, and it is a pizza place in the Cosmopolitan.
Okay.
So it's from where Evo is typically held. It's a little bit of a trek, but to get out there, I think is worth it. It's not that far. You take a tram to the Excalibur, and then you walk across New York. It's a whole thing. Anyway, not important. You go into the Cosmopolitan. You go up to the third floor, top floor, take the escalator, and as soon as you come up the escalator, you're going to see some chairs, maybe. You're going to see a restaurant to your right, and you're going to see like a kind of a dark alleyway, what looks like a bathroom.
Okay.
That's pizza. That's where you go for the pizza. There's no
you
sign. There's nothing. It's a long hallway, a long dim hallway, what looks like a bathroom hallway, what got the pizza. You go back there, they ship in water from New York. It's a whole thing. The pizza is delicious. Get a bunch all at once. Get a whole pie if you want to. The white pizza is delicious. The sausage, the pepperoni, all of it is just... It's my favorite thing to go eat in Las Vegas, and it's not super expensive in terms of other Vegas food, in my opinion.
Right.
Which is a fucking nightmare. But I am thankful for Secret Pizza, and I am... But keep that a secret, because the name... Gotta keep it secret.
Well, you can expect me, if you... I assume you'll be the Evo this year. If you are, you can expect me to be sliding in those DMs to get some Secret Pizza, because...
Oh, yeah.
That sounds great.
We'll go get some Secret Pizza. We'll make a trek.
Yeah.
It's... Actually, the last year... I think I had Secret Pizza 3 out of the 5 nights I was in Vegas, which was
awesome.
To me, like we came with friends who were like actually not involved in the FGC at all. They were just like there to... I have one friend who's like a huge gambler who was like, let's just fucking bet on things. His wife, who was not a huge gambler, who was like, I can't deal with this stress of losing and gaining money this quickly. Let's go eat pizza. It was a very good time. But yeah, we fucked up some pies, let me tell you. But I am thankful for my mod team, of course, the community for stepping up and being able to sponsor a number of players this year. It's been buck wild in terms of the support from the community of us just throwing out there like, hey, like even this last minute thing of just saying we didn't plan on doing this last chance qualifier sponsorship, but like there seemed to be enough people who were like, we want to throw our weight behind it, so threw that together within like two weeks roughly is how that happened.
Which reminds me, I need to go buy those stickers right now.
Oh my god, the stickers are so good. Quasimodox, are you kidding me with these stickers?
Dude, I'm gonna buy so many fucking stickers.
They're ridiculous. If you talk to Sermi directly, and this is just for anyone listening, Sermi _ I believe is his actual @ on Twitter, or it's just Sermi, because I know the Macherino _ is their main Twitter account. Anyway, at them directly, they'll take care. If you just want like, hey, I only want 7 Zangief stickers, go through them that way. Just make sure that's all tied. If you have preferences, or if you want the whole spread, the whole amuse-bouche of animal fighters, go right ahead. They're all available, and hot damn, are they good? They're so good.
They're so good. Like that thread. What's crazy about that thread is I got tagged in it because I was like, "Yo, like Quasi, where's my Ibuki?" And then I still get like likes on that. Like I'll just like suddenly have like a random "you've been liked," and I'm like, "What?" Yeah, those stickers are fire, dude. Quasi is so talented.
It's wild, the skill that he has and the expediency of which he outputs things. Like it was one of those things where after we announced the stickers, it was like the day after. Jenny EX Top Doll on Twitter.com does great work. She writes great articles. She's fantastic. She was like, "Oh man, wouldn't it be great if M Bison was a panther?"
Yes.
And like, hey fam, you gotta fucking be careful about the shit what you tag Quasi in, because within the hour he was like, "Oh, here's a panther for you.
Like
here it is.
Like you just have this panther.
Here's a Black Panther of M Bison for you." that I just did up, and it looks fantastic. Yeah, I guess I'll do a whole other series within the next 24 hours. But just like within 10 minutes, he was like, here you go. Here it is. It exists now. Got to be careful about the shit you say in front of him, man.
Mm-hmm. My guy just makes shit.
It's real tough. Anyway, I'm thankful for the community, obviously, because they've stepped up and are sponsoring the Ceroblast for the Last Chance qualifier. I think that's dope as fuck. It's been one of those things where I didn't even know if it was going to be possible, but here we are, and it's basically all funded at this point. I'm all set to make that shit happen. I also want to thank personally anyone who works at Capcom, or is leaving Capcom. Michael Martin, RIP. Yep. Not RIP, but just like from Cap. It's a fucking meat grinder working there. Carolyn, of course, like the shit you got to go through to be an employee at Capcom is, geez, oh man. I can't even imagine what those people go through year after year, day in, day out. But is what it is, folks. And I don't know, I'm just thankful for you, the listener, and thankful for anyone who's like shared this show and let other people know about it. It's just like, and my wife, of course. My dog. And Brick. Hey,
Brick
Bick.
is the best.
Hey, Bick. Hey, bud. What are you thankful for? He's looking at me incredulously. Anyway, I think
don't trust you.
I think that's a show. I don't have much else to wrap up with, unless you have something else that you want to bring up before we close out the show. No,
man. Just thank you for what you do. Like, thanks to the Reddit community. Like,
enough of this talking. I'm just thankful.
Thank you for being a good dude.
I'm bad at accepting.
I know. I'm the same way, man. Like, I get
bad
real
at accepting compliments. You gotta fuck off with that shit. I can't do it.
Right.
Ain't about that life, because I think that what you have provided on this show has been like a really good learning tool for anyone who would be looking into or is en route to putting on a good like local community for an entire state, because Utah's got it going on. Before I let you go, though, I have to ask you two questions. A series of questions I ask everyone who comes on the show. So you are not special. You cannot avoid it. It's too late. It comes in two parts. Mm-hmm. What is your favorite normal attack in any fighting game?
Okay. I think it's Stand Fierce from Rufus in Street Fighter 4.
Were you talking far Stand Fierce or close Stand Fierce?
I think it's far Stand Fierce, the one where he does like the punch that kind of launches them.
That's heavy kick.
Heavy kick is the punch? Okay.
Launches them from the ground. Are you talking about forward heavy kick, the double like top?
No. It's like a he does like a sidestep, like a stomp, and both his arms go out, and he like hits him. Oh, what the fuck is it?
Oh, that's his like forward heavy punch.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
I like the pop hands.
Yeah.
What the fuck is it called? Hold on, let me fat this shit up.
Because
that's forward heavy. That's Rufus's forward heavy punch.
I think Rufus is dope. I think Rufus is a hilarious character, and I just like him.
No, I'm with you on that. Rufus is tight as fuck. I love Rufus. He's great.
So that or honestly, dude, I think Geef crush counter roundhouse, like Geef roundhouse when it crush counters, only when it crush counters, just because I think instant air SPDs are hype as fuck, and it starts as well. So
I think it's Galaxy Palm. Hold on.
That sounds right.
Fragrance
Palm. That's the one. Yeah.
Fragrance Palm.
Dude, I think Fragrance Palm is amazing. So
I was like, it's a command normal. I can't exactly remember the name. Fragrance Palm. Tight. Yeah, he does the whoa, and it has hitboxes on both sides too, because he's fucked up like that. Now Rufus is tight. I actually love Rufus. Rufus is fucking awesome. Yeah. Fuck anyone who thinks Rufus is dumb AF. No, y'all are wrong. Rufus is great. Fuck you. But really, Geef though.
Yeah, I play a little bit of Geef. I don't have a really good Geef, but I actually really like Geef as a character. I love watching Geef mains, and Geef stand roundhouse, dude. Like I love it. I love it. When someone gets hit with that, I am always stoked. It makes me feel good.
Word. I agree with that because, I mean, just like you said, Borscht Dynamite follows up from like any range. It's just like his toes were spinning at, and he still got them. Hell yeah.
Yep. And that's how the party starts.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I'm about that life for sure. Part 2 to this question is, what is your favorite combo in any fighting game?
Ooh. Man, that's tough. So,
doesn't have to be Street Fighter related. Also,
yeah, I'm trying to think of like. So, it's the Doom Infinite from UMVC3.
Okay.
I think it's the Infinite. It's the one that Arlieth did the ASMR video of. I fucking love that combo because that is some soothing shit. Like it's just wonderful. I'm also a huge fan of Street Fighter 4 Yoon. It's like his crouching jab, stand strong DP. I think it's like his bread and butter combo. It might only be 2 jabs. It might be crouch jab, stand strong DP. But I just love the way that combo feels to land. Like when you land that combo, it feels good and it looks good. So I really like that combo too.
I'm trying to find the Arlieth
right ASMR.
ASMR. Hold on.
It's just a good video. But yeah, those are definitely my top 2. Like I love watching Marvel. I think Marvel combos are sick as hell.
Yeah, they're tight. I don't know anyone who listens to this show who would disagree with you. They're just the cadence of a Marvel combo is just something that is indisputably good.
Yep.
No, we're good answers. I appreciate that. That will be it for this episode of RSF Radio. Tom, before you go, is there anything else that you want to send people to before we sign off?
Nah, man. Go to your locals.
Word. Where can people find you on the internet?
At Thomas Winkley on Twitter or at GetGoodFGC if you want to know what fighting game stuff's going on in Utah. And twitch.tv/GetGoodFGC if you want to see the streaming of the fighting game stuff in Utah. So
awesome. All right, folks. I'm Super Joe Monday on Twitter.com or Reddit SF on Twitter.com. Check it out. We will be back with our tournaments on Mondays and Fridays. We took this week off because of the holiday. Also, Street Fighter V was down on Monday for server maintenance, I suppose. Regardless, we'll be back next week. I'm looking forward to it. Getting back on the saddle. That'll be a good time. Tom may or may not be there. Who can say?
I'll be there.
Fair enough. But that will do it for another episode of RSF Radio. But until next time, folks, take care. Peace. Bye.